Welcome to Integrated Planning, where we take an integrated approach to growing and protecting your wealth. My name is Sophie Blais, and today we're going to be talking about the 6 key areas of financial planning. So one of the things I always talk to clients about planning is that there's 2 sides to financial planning. There is a quantitative side and there's a qualitative side. And any client that's worked with me understands that there's both head and heart answers to the questions that you have about, will you have enough? What should you be doing with your business? Are my family protected? If I can give one word of advice, or you take one thing away from this series, it's that, you know what, it's never too early or too late to work with a financial advisor and an integrated team to make sure that you can live the best life you want to live. The Financial Planning Standard Council outlines 6 core areas that planners should be looking at when working with clients through their financial plans. The first being financial management. So financial management is really simple. Financial management is, simply put, money in versus money out. If you spend more than you have, then you'll end up upside down. And no matter how much money you make, you can still not have enough at the end of the day. There's a couple of areas of financial management that are really important. The first one is your net worth. We often say that your net worth is your scorecard. Oftentimes people look at how much money they make, how much money they save, but really long term it's what you keep and how that grows that makes the most sense. So net worth can include a whole bunch of different things. It can include the assets that you own, the properties that you own. Well, there's lots of net worth calculators that you can access online, and obviously if you're working with your integrated team and your financial planner, they'll help you go through that. But there's 2 sides. There's the asset side and then there's the liability side. On the asset side, you'll often see things like homes, properties, vehicles, jewelry, cash, investments, anything that adds a plus sign to the overall net worth bank account. On the liability side, there's a whole bunch of things that make up the liability side as well. So liabilities can range from, a mortgage on your home or any properties, any loans you might have for whatever different things. If you look at your credit cards, any debt effectively that you owe is considered a liability. So to come up with your net worth, you take your assets, you minus your liability, and you end up with what's yours. Another thing to keep in mind as you're working through financial management is cash flow. Money in and money out. Or any of us that have children, it goes back to, if you make $20 a week in allowance, if you spend 30, you're not managing your budget well. And so when working with clients, both small, medium, and of high net worth, cash flow is often an important discussion because what you make and what you spend have a huge impact on the planning opportunities and discussions that you might have. So budgeting. Budgeting is an interesting word, and oftentimes in the past in working with clients, budgeting, I would joke that it's a 4-letter word. And people either have a love or a hate relationship with the concept of budgeting. But budgeting is really important for most individuals or businesses in terms of knowing, what's coming in, when is it coming in, what needs to go out, and then effectively it allows you to make sure that you put yourself first, right? So if you've got savings goals and objectives, if you've got, debts that you need to pay down or different things that, different obligations that are coming your way, it's important that you have a budget in place. Oftentimes I'm asked, Sophie, what would you use to budget? There's a lot of different tools that are available. There's lots of online tools. People will use Excel spreadsheets. You can access budgeting tools through your bank. It's really what makes the most sense to you. What I always suggest is keep it simple. There's a concept that is important to understand, and we all should be doing it, and that's the idea of paying ourselves first. Right? Making sure that there is money set aside on a regular basis to meet your needs. And so, if you look at some of the compound interest calculators that are out there, you start talking to your kids when they're young, if you start putting $50 away every month, it can really grow. And so we often suggest to clients that they do look to paying themselves first and create a habit around putting money away for the future. And that's a tough thing to do in today's day and age because we like that immediate satisfaction and that immediate, getting something immediate out of what we're doing. So creating the habit, creating the discipline to put money aside is really important. Nobody likes to talk about debt, but debt's a really important topic to discuss, to look at. And I think when you're able to actually have conversations with your advisors or your integrated team about the debt that you have, you can then find a meaningful solution to move your way out of that. So there's a few core tips about debt and what you should do with your debt. The first is pay down your highest interest first. So if you've got credit card debt, which is normally pushing 20%, the recommendation would be to pay that off first and to keep that and keep paying that and keep that balance at zero if you at all can. The second is to look if you can consolidate your debt. There's lots of programs out there which allow you to bring multiple debt together and consolidate that into one kind of payment that you can manage. The other piece is to think about your mortgage, right? So it's an interesting discussion because mortgage is what I would consider good debt. And when looking at debt, there are good and bad types of debt. So credit card debt, bad debt. Mortgage debt, good debt. It's ultimately going to build up your net worth. So those are the key areas, right, when you're thinking about financial management. Your net worth, your cash flow, what comes in, what goes out, and then how you manage your savings, your debt. If you enjoyed what you heard and you learned something new, feel free to press like or subscribe to our channel so that you can continue to get great updates on financial planning. Click the link below if you'd like access to some of our free resources to help you in your financial planning journey. Make sure you reach out to your financial advisor or CPA to make sure you have the right A-team behind you to reach your business and personal goals.